Hello, everybody, and welcome to my friend plays Kerbal Space Program for the very first time. I'm Alan,
I'm Galen.
and Galen's going to be playing, although I'm actually going to take the controller for just a little bit
Because I have no
to...
idea what we're doing.
Oh, okay. Stop! Jesus.
We're on the
Okay.
moon, I
Yep,
think. I'm
that's
assuming.
that's MUN, Moon.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah,
MU.
just so you know.
Oh, is MOON copyrighted? They couldn't
Uh,
take it?
yeah, it's copyrighted. So let's see. I do want to mess around with some of the settings here to give us a good, uh, a good mix of difficulty. I don't want to make it too hard on you because this game has a pretty steep learning
I
curve,
figured.
but I don't want to make it too easy
Easy,
on you
yeah.
either because I think you have a leg up on the average person.
We'll see.
Yeah,
The
well,
engineering
um,
may help somewhat, but we'll see.
yeah, no, I think it'll help more than you'd think. Temperature gauges, thermal highlights, EVAs, auto rotate the camera. Yep. Retained control point on enter IVA. Ooh. Yes. Camera, actually, that's, no. No. Camera, orbit sensitivity. You can mess around with some of the, like, camera sensitivity stuff. That's,
Interesting.
yeah.
It's just to make it feel more realistic as far as, like,
Advanced tweakables.
advanced tweakables.
I don't know what that means. You'd think that with the amount of Kerbal I've played, um, let's put you there. No, let's don't do that. CurbNet map aligns with orbit. CurbNet map. I think I know what that means.
We'll find out. What's overscan?
I'm not sure. Let me look this up real quick.
Overscan.
Kerbal Space Program overscan.
Controls.
Yeah, you probably want to keep that radial.
Yeah. You don't want to mess with the roll and yaw.
Analog. Oh, hold on. Analog throttle input. No.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
you
enabled.
want that
Yeah,
enabled.
I would assume.
Um. Okay. You probably want to
Interesting.
keep it radial.
Ooh, cursor based. Definitely not.
Yeah. Um.
Volume, spacecraft,
Audio should be fine.
threshold responsiveness.
Did I leave the remote over there? I did.
VSync.
There's no. Interesting. What was it at before?
Every V blank.
Okay. What's the other ones?
Every second V blank. Or just don't
So let's
sync.
just do every V blank, I guess.
Yeah.
What's audio?
What
Okay,
the?
that should be fine.
Yeah.
I was expecting the
Overscan. Oh, I figured out what overscan is.
Oh. Yeah, that's much
Let's
better.
let's leave, let's
Let's
leave
keep it at
that. Let's
0.
leave that. There it is.
Fantastic. It's wonderful when the game gives you the answers. Okay. Save. Yeah. So let's go to start game. And we're going to start a new game. I don't know what resume saved would be.
Go check it out.
Nope.
Already know.
Start new game. So we're going to have you do career.
Okay.
Um,
Can I change the
can
name?
you hit X?
I see.
We can title this, hey, uh, Emmy Brandon, 94? Thanks so much for following. Really appreciate it. That's really cool. We can title this My Friend Plays Kerbal Space Program. That might take a little bit to type out. MFP KSP.
Oh, wait. MF.
All caps. Let's do all caps. Yeah. If you do it twice, I think it'll stay all caps. There you go. MFP KSP FT for the first time.
Yeah.
Done. Awesome.
What happened to our redness?
It's the TV's mode. If it's
I got
bothering you, I can
That's fine.
change it.
I was just like, wait,
It'll
am I
come
going
back.
blind?
Yeah, no, it's not you.
It's them.
It's
not
not
me.
showing up on stream. So,
I figured. How do I change the flag?
options perhaps. Change flag. There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah. What do you want your flag to be?
Hmm.
Man, don't be such a flag.
It's a flag.
So that's carbon right there in the background, and you can also see the one flag right next to you. Yeah. So that could be like that's your home planet, and then to the right of that is like simplistic representation of
the same thing.
yeah.
Where is aperture science? Do they have aperture science?
Well, there's R&D, and so that's maybe as close as you could get to aperture science.
Where is that?
Right to your right, and down to your right. There you go.
Oh, R&D. I
Yep.
got you.
You could go with the NASA logo.
I was kind of feeling the NASA logo actually rep some real world.
It's too bad they don't have a SpaceX logo. At least not one that I see.
I don't think it was mainstream enough when that came out.
Well, they've got UK space. Well, but they've had a lot of updates and.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Goliath? What is Goliath?
I don't know. Interesting that they've got UK space, but no C7 aerospace. That might be the closest to SpaceX.
Might be.
I
don't know. I'm kind of
What
feeling...
does the SpaceX logo look like? I can't...
I don't know.
I think I know, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, it's right there.
Looks like that.
Yeah.
So what looks closest to that?
Integral? Kind of cool
That's kind of what I was thinking. I think Elon Musk would like that. You know, he's a big math nerd. Did you see at one point he posted a picture on his Twitter? It was like when
Oh, do we want to do difficulty stuff?
cos theta equals theta? No. When sine theta equals theta. And it was theta. So basically I'm very small. Yeah.
Decline penalty, repetition penalty.
Oh, okay, yes. So this is some of the stuff I wanted to mess with.
Yeah. Starting funds.
Yeah, so you're not... so I'm going to take it a little bit easy on you. Okay, this is... Jesus Christ. Squad, fix your game. I will allow you to revert flights, but we're going to have a house rule. No more than 2 reverts per flight.
Okay. What is that? I guess I'll find that out.
Yeah, quick loading is like you can save at certain points and then quick load.
Okay.
So
instead of having to build it from scratch and go from there, you can
exactly.
save it before it blows up or whatever.
Because of the possibility of bugs and other stuff like screwing up, I'm going to keep that. Missing crews do not respawn. So if you kill somebody, they are dead.
Fine with me.
Yep. So a lot of pressure there. We will not auto hire crew members. You're gonna have to do that manually. There will be an entry purchase for research. Okay. You will not have indestructible facilities or stock vessel. I guess we could include stock vessels. Sure. Re-entry heating. I'm gonna turn that up a little. Oh, that's the maximum. Okay, I'm not gonna turn it up quite that high, but resource abundance. I'm comfortable keeping that at 100%. We are going to enable the comm network. So that's going to mean that you have to have a signal for satellites and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah. I'm going to give you a little bit extra money. I'll give you a little bit more than that.
Ooh, we get more monies.
Not a ton of money, though.
Ooh.
I'm going to give you a hit to your reputation.
Brutal. Doc Brown over here, disgraced scientist starting out.
What'd you say?
So we're Doc Brown over here, starting out as a disgraced scientist.
Yeah, that's right. Decline penalty.
I'm assuming that means that if you take a hit to your
Yeah, that's what I'm
reputation
thinking.
or whatever, it'll go down.
No, because that's reputation penalty. What's decline penalty?
I don't know.
Let me look that up real quick. KSP decline penalty.
-1
If
reputation.
you don't, oh, if you decline a contract, duh.
Gotcha.
So that'll give you a hit to your reputation. So you don't have to accept every contract, but if you decline a contract,
I
that'll
gotcha.
give you a hit. So I'll turn that up.
Oh.
Okay, and advanced. Enable Kerbal experience. Yup. Kerbals level up immediately. Yes. Allow negative funds in science. Yes. Part pressure limits. Yes. G-force limits. Kerbal G-force limits.
Kerbal meaning the actual.
So, okay. That's quite the scale there.
Yeah.
Um,
What is that, logarithmic?
I guess.
Only 2.5? I feel like I should be able to suffer more. 4? I would say 4.
Well, so I think that's a multiplier. Yeah, it's a multiplier to how much G-force.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not it's not the number of G's.
Gotcha.
2.15 is pretty generous.
I gotcha. I didn't realize that was a multiplier.
Resource transfer absolutely obeys crossfeed rules. No, you're going to have to buy that. Building impact damage multiplier. Turn that up a little bit. Do we want part upgrades? No, because, well, it says some already. Fine, you can have part upgrades. Absolutely require signal for control. Absolutely plasma blackout. I'll make this slightly easier on you. I'll give you 30% boost to your range. No. The effective size of objects that can occlude antennae. It says antennas, but it should be antennae. Used for atmosphereless objects. It's fine.
Gotcha.
Yes. Okay. So, overall, we're going to be making this mildly difficult for you. Not super difficult, but enough for you to be able to play around a little bit. Not so much that you should be totally comfortable with everything. So, yeah, this is basically just telling you, hey, this is the Kerbal Space Center. It's like Kennedy Space Center. So we've got the big building in the center there. That's your VAB, your Vehicle Assembly Building. On the right there, you can see the space plane hangar.
Okay.
And you can just hit A. I'll explain everything.
Keep hitting A? Alright.
Okay, that actually might have been good to have him explain, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. Yeah, so you can see you got your flagpole there.
Over there.
Your launch pad's over there to the left.
Yep. Is that a runway?
Yep, that's a runway for the space planes. So your mission control, that's where you go to accept contracts and like figure out what you're going to be doing next. Research and development, that's where you go to unlock new technologies. Again, runway for space planes and stuff. What else do we got? The space plane hangar.
Yep.
Talked to you about that. It's like the VAB for planes.
Yeah.
That's your tracking station. So that's where you go to look at your vehicles and maybe some other things in space.
Okay.
And
VAB.
last but not least, certainly not least, the VAB, the Vehicle Assembly Building. That's where you're going to go to build your rockets. But before you build any of your rockets, you need to have a contract.
How do I
return to Space Center?
There we go.
Here you go. So you might want to go to Mission Control. Okay, so let's see. We can gather scientific data from Kerbin. So what that's going to be is you have so Kerbin is Earth basically.
Gotcha.
So this might be a little bit confusing. So there's Kerbals, Kerbals. That's the green guys.
Okay.
That's our
Equivalent to
people,
human
our little
beings.
green men,
Yeah.
the Martians. Yeah.
They're inhabitants of Kerbin. I'm assuming.
Hold on. Let me turn down my volume a little bit. Sorry, what did you say?
They're inhabitants of Kerbin, I
Yes.
presume.
Can you hear?
No.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
hear the game at all.
I didn't realize that the volume on the TV was so low. Let me turn that up.
All good.
Oh,
Ooh, launch
it's
our
over
first
here.
completion. $32,000. Or Kerbin bucks.
Yeah, Kerbin bucks.
Kerbals.
You can call it like money, funds, whatever. So, hold on. Before,
Gotcha.
yeah. So that's so Kerbals are the green guys. Kerbin is the planet, and then there's Kerbol, which is Kerbol.
Okay.
That's the star that all the planets revolve around.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry, orbit around.
Orbit. Gene Kerbin. Alright, so we can accept this contract, I presume?
Yeah, so we can accept that one. That's going to be pretty easy, because that just means that we have somebody on Kerbin, on Earth, and they just have to get some science. So, super easy. Now, the other three contracts are going to be launch a vessel, escape the atmosphere, orbit Kerbin.
Gotcha. Which is the planet?
The easiest, or Kerbin Earth. Yeah.
Yes.
So the easiest of those is going to be launch the vessel.
Excuse me.
Especially because in order to escape the atmosphere or orbit Kerbin, or to orbit Kerbin, you're going to have to launch a vessel anyway.
Right.
So might as well launch a vessel. Doesn't even matter if it escapes the atmosphere or not.
Gotcha.
So you should accept that one. So you can accept 2. So you've got active contracts 2, max 2.
Gotcha. So these are both accepted. I can do both of these at the same time, theoretically. Right?
Yes. Yeah, you can do them both at once if you want, or one at a time, however you want to do it.
Okay. So how do I do this one?
So, objectives. Recover or transmit any science experiment data from Kerbin to achieve this goal. Okay. And launch the vessel. So let's go to the VAB. So there you go. So we need to design a vessel.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's real big.
Oh, it's inverted. That's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's well. We might be able to controls.
Should be in here, right?
Well, yeah. Maybe that'll do it.
See how that feels.
Does that do what you want it to do?
Yeah, no, I like the actual.
Okay, if that's how you like it, that's how you like it. So, let's start with, hold on. Let's start with pods. So pods are going to be the crew container modules. So, you've got 2 pods available to you. So you've got the KV-1 Onion reentry module. And then to the right, you've got the Mark 1 command pod.
Wait, that's weird. Oh, I see. You select it by switching.
Oh, and you can, apparently, yeah, you can mess around with the color a little bit.
Interesting. Okay.
So, yeah, whichever one of those you want to pick, you might want to put one of those down so that you can have a crew member on a rocket. So it's A to pick one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at
Okay,
the
no,
max
take your time.
Capacity is the same. The variants available are 3. Doesn't change anything. It's max.
Yeah, so that's just for color and
Yeah.
you know, making it look nice.
Max temp.
And if there's anything that you want me to explain, I can explain that.
This is a higher tolerance, though. I do kind of like that for impact.
The which one does?
It's heavier. This one.
Okay.
But what's the price? Hold on. They're the same price.
Yeah.
Oh, Alright, well, I might as well buy this one then.
Okay, so just hit A. So now you've got one there.
Okay.
And
Do I move it at all or no?
well, it's all gonna be relative. So, let's
it'll
go.
technically lock
Let's
together?
take a look at some other parts.
Okay.
So hit B.
B.
There you go. And
Fuel tank?
so we don't have any fuel tanks.
Okay.
But we do have an engine there. So let's take a look at that. So that's a solid fuel booster. So that's
So I fuel tank. 'Cause
yeah, so that's
all fuel.
got its own fuel tank attached to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that.
It's the only one I get.
So you have a method of propulsion. So
3 variants. 3 variants. I want to see the different variants.
there you go. You are.
There we go. I'll do that one.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this might be a little bit wonky on console. I've never. Part of the reason that I wanted to do this on console is that I've never done this on console. So command and control is the different ways that you can spin your rocket around while it's
Gotcha.
in flight.
So it's just all the
You don't have any
all
parts
the
for that
control
right
units,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Structural?
Structural components,
That's just
exactly
for
what it
launching,
sounds
I'm
like.
assuming,
It's
right?
just, yeah, so that's just a girder. It's just like if you wanted to have, say, another solid rocket booster there, you could like take that girder, stick it on the side of the rocket, and then put
like another thruster or something.
yeah, exactly.
I didn't want to do that.
That's okay. I think you can take it away. You should be able to.
How?
Hit X. No, let's go back to basic. Never mind. Never mind. That was a mistake.
You're showing me new things. I don't know.
So, can I see this?
Yeah. There you go.
So triggers don't do anything.
Oh, there you go.
So if you click in the left stick,
So you can select that. And...
so let's see. Bumpers rotate. Up and down button.
Left, right is a yaw. Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so the D-pad will rotate.
Ooh, fine rotation.
Okay, so yeah, so hold right bumper and
I gotcha. It does degrees of.
yeah, I think it goes
Rotation.
like 5 degrees at a time.
It looks like it
And
does.
if I hit B, nope.
Just drag it.
Mm,
Undo last. I guess that's what you would theoretically do. We could do it a couple times. Do anything like that.
I don't know if I'm doing this correctly.
What about reset? Is that just reset everything?
It doesn't do anything.
Right.
Perhaps. No. What if we? There we go. So I think that there's no girder
Okay.
flying around in the background there. So
Okay.
if you drag it over here and drop it in there, that should delete it.
Okay, cool. Into the actual drop down.
Okay.
Okay. Structural.
Now,
robotics.
say
robotics.
if you wanted to have 2 girders, or say like 2 fins on your little rocket there, what you could do is you could like select a fin and then take it out, and there's a tool where you can change. So there's 2 tools actually I want to talk about. So there's one tool which will let you change symmetry. Oh, that's a science experiment. So since you have to conduct a science experiment on Kerbin, you might want to
Attach that.
put one of those on your rocket.
What's that?
That's a parachute.
I might need that.
Yeah. Highly, highly recommend that. Oh, okay, this might. There you go.
Woohoo, we did it.
Yep. Like I thought, this might get a little bit crazy. So you can put that wherever you want. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, hold on a second there. That science experiment there, that's mass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's mass that's offset from the geometric center and the center of thrust, right? Which, by the way, we can actually turn on overlays for the center of mass and center of thrust.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So,
Advanced,
click left stick. Click. There you go. Okay, hit Y. Okay. Now let's toggle overlays. There you go. Center of mass, center of thrust. There's also a center of lift overlay. That's not really going to tell you much of anything though, because that you're not a space plane, basically.
Yeah. It's interesting. It doesn't actually affect.
So it has a very slight effect on the center of mass.
It's not noticeable, at least from looking at it, but I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, so if you were to fly it, it probably would not have a huge impact, but if you were to like let it, if it could, let's say, thrust in a vacuum for like several hours, you'd find it going in an arc. Yep. So
we can put two on.
You can put two on, but how are you gonna get it on the exact opposite side of the rocket? Well, there's two tools that can help with that.
Okay.
If you hit Y again, let's go to toggle angle snap. So what that does is, you see how it went from a circle to a hexagon?
I guess you.
So if you grab the science container, now suddenly it'll snap to certain locations. See that?
Mm-hmm.
It's very useful. Now, another thing you can do, if you hit Y, go to, not that, symmetry.
What?
My boss is suddenly asking if I can hop on to work.
Brutal.
I'm gonna have to let him know that I'm busy at the moment. So you can set your symmetry to be double symmetry, triple symmetry, quadruple, and so you can see by the picture, how it's going to work. So double symmetry is going to be, it'll place one on the exact opposite side. Triple, it'll balance them 1/3 of the way around the circle. Quadrilateral symmetry.
Oh, interesting. I see. Interesting. There we go.
Yeah, so now you've got... keep in mind, by the way, you do have... each new part that you put on will cost you money. You do also have limited...
funds.
You've got limited funds, you've got limited parts that your launch pad can support. Or, I'm sorry, that your VAB can support. You've got limited weight that your launch pad can support. So that's offset. So that's basically if you want to put a part somewhere but have it be... There's another tool for if you want to rotate. So move, I think, is... So rerouting is not really something you want to mess with, yeah. Move.
I thought I had moved.
No, sorry,
no.
Place. You want place. There you go. So you can grab the science unit. There you go. And just drag it over. Hit A. Cool. You got rid of it. So I think this is going to be everything that you really need for your...
No fins?
You can put fins on if you want. Do you want fins?
Kind of, but
Okay.
That's
well,
only to ensure. It's
so
not really going to ensure anything. I guess. It depends how higher fuel will get us.
Right. So let's click the left stick and take us down to the bottom right.
Interesting.
Can't. I'm done.
Gather data.
So, yeah, so you can see a couple stats here. So let's go back to the engineer gear, the orange gear with the wrench. There you go. So, if you hit A on that, okay, can you like scroll down that at all? Put the cursor over it maybe, and then try. There you go, like that. So you can see. Sorry.
That's all.
So you can see we've got certain size requirements. So we have to be under 20 meters. We're only at 3, so we're fine that way.
Okay.
We're fine on the other two, width and length too. If you scroll up, we're well within the part limit. We can have up to 30 parts, but we've only got 5, and we can go all the way up to 18 tons, and we're only at 2.5. So we're totally fine that way. Now, the design checklist is flagging a couple issues, though. So we've got parachute on the first stage and parachute on engine stage. So that means that the first stage that you activate, the parachute is going to deploy.
Oh.
And it also means that on a stage where an engine is being activated, the parachute will deploy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, some minor issues. You can't transmit science, so that means you don't have any kind of communication device on your craft. That's fine because we don't have any communication devices unlocked.
So we're just conducting science, we're not actually transmitting.
Exactly. And unused MP resource. I'm not 100% what that's referring to. If you move the cursor over the little chat bubble, so the vessel has 1 MP container which is not used by or connecting to anything that requires MP. MP. I'm not sure what MP is. It's highlighting the pod though.
Yeah.
So can you hover the cursor over the pod and try clicking on the right stick? No, hold on. Place it down. Okay. Get your cursor. B maybe? When you're hovering over it? Nope. X? Okay. So let's see here. So we've got MP. So EC is going to be electric charge, so that's your batteries. MP stands for monopropellant. So MP is a resource for reaction control thrusters.
I got you. Okay.
So that's a way to. So the pod comes with a reaction wheel built in. It's like a gyroscope.
Right. To help it maintain its.
Exactly. So you can electrically control your orientation with a reaction wheel. Monopropellant is just like a fuel resource for little thrusters that will help you orient your craft. They're pretty much going to be used for when you have much larger rockets.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we need to mess around with the staging because that's going to be a pretty bad issue if we don't. No, hold on, put that back on.
Okay. I thought I clicked you. Oh, it's just a toggle click. I got you.
Yeah. So hit Y.
But why though?
So edit stages. So I'm not sure how this works. So let's Hold on, hit B. So, okay, hold on. Go back into the staging edit. Why?
Right.
Edit stages. And can you navigate to the... You see the little plus down there in the bottom right? Yeah, hit that. So that adds a new stage.
Gotcha.
The minus will delete the stage that you're in, and it'll move anything in that stage to... Right, so you just moved the 0th stage to the 1st stage.
Shit.
So you hit reset there. Okay, so... No, so you've selected the whole stage, so try to select the piece on the rocket. So... Yeah, so go left.
Left. You mean like this?
How were you highlighting the...
I don't know.
Different rockets. Okay. Edit up. Edit stages. Yeah. So hit A. There you go. Move it down, just like that.
I got you. And then we're good.
I'm not sure how you did that, but however you did that,
we're good.
Yeah, that's so. So what you've done now is you can see your stage in the bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got. Oh boy, I hope that Slack sound doesn't show up on stream. It probably did. Shit. Well, okay. So now you just.
Oh, come on. Okay. Hold
on. So go down to hit the plus. So I guess you don't have to go into the. Right. So what you've just done there.
I want my engine
it goes
anyway, right?
No. So you want it in the opposite order. So hold on.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can select the entire stage and then just move it up. So move down a little bit, up a little bit. Right there.
Yeah.
Yep, just like that. So it goes bottom to top.
Gotcha.
So the 0th stage is the last stage.
Right, makes sense. That makes sense.
So the first stage is your second to last.
It's controlling through the bottom of the rocket.
Right. So what this is saying is, when you stage it, your engine is going to be activated.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you stage it the next time, then your parachute's going to be activated. Okay?
Gotcha.
Now, I think we're pretty good. So do you want to give this spacecraft a name?
I suppose so.
Okay, so move your cursor up to the top. Well, actually, sorry, before we do that, hit right bumper. Okay, so we've got a pilot in there. It did automatically put a pilot in.
Okay.
So we've got 4 people right now. We've got Jeb Kerman, who is a pilot, Bill Kerman, who's an engineer, and Bob Kerman, who's a scientist. Those were the original 3 Kerbals, by the way.
Gotcha.
So,
cool.
Yeah, when the game first came out, it was only those 3 guys, and
nobody else.
They've since added many people. There is now Valentina Kerman. She's the first female Kerbal. They added her, I don't know, a couple years ago. I haven't been following up with the game super closely.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then I will check in and I'll be like, oh, cool, this is, what they've changed, and awesome. So it's always good to just make sure that you've got a good pilot in there and stuff.
Do we not have coupling anymore?
Nope. So
structural. That's right. Should we add 4 more rockets to this bad boy?
We can do that if you want to. It's up to you. There may or may not be a point to that. It won't necessarily go higher.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, so what you're doing by adding more rockets is you're averaging the amount of mass per thrust closer and closer to just a solid rocket booster by itself.
Gotcha. Not to mention, you're just making the acceleration better. It's not like they're going to cut off at the same time anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, so they will all cut off at the same time. Another thing to think about, though, is that you're adding drag. So it can be useful if you have heavier things to lift.
Probably, yeah.
It's not... Yeah.
I think we're good then.
So there are coupling things that if you scroll up, right down, yeah, right there. So coupling. So there will be pieces that will detach certain parts of your rocket, and we can explore some of those a little bit later.
All right. To name the rocket, right?
So, yeah, you can probably do it through this menu, or you can get your cursor up to the top and click on the name. And you can also put a description in.
I want to change the name.
So, go hover over the name, hit A. There you go.
There we go.
So, what do you want to call this? Kirby. Cool. Okay. Do you want to put a description in? This might be a game worth hooking up a Bluetooth keyboard for.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. So,
now what?
I'm not sure how to. So in the PC version, the way to launch is in the top right, but I don't see the button there. You can also, by the way, if you see the symbol next to the name, you can change the flag for each mission.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So there should be a way to save the rocket. We definitely want to do that. Maybe in the Y menu. By the way, if you click on the other buttons in the bottom right, you can see some useful statistics. So there's nothing in there because I think that's comms related. Well, hold on, go back to the right. No, to the left of that one.
Gotcha.
So you can see some good controls there. So let's see.
Offset rotation.
Oh, clone hierarchy. So if you hold X and then you hit A, I think while your cursor is highlighting a part, it will clone the part, and then you can put that somewhere on the.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's useful.
Yeah,
we're in this launch.
Nope, that's information about various things.
Launch.
So, hold on. Let's go on under display values. Hit Delta V there.
There we go.
Yeah. And you can also check how much thrust and how much. So you can see do you see the 732 meters per second there?
Yes.
So that's your delta V for that stage. And so that's measuring that if you were stationary for the entire burn length of that stage at sea level. You can change that if you want. So if you know, okay, well, I'm not going to activate this stage until it gets to
a certain height.
Until it gets to like 30,000 meters or whatever.
Right.
Or maybe just it's in vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually change how it measures that to a certain specific altitude on Kerbin or maybe another planet. Or you can change it to be set for vacuum.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's kind of cool. Okay. Launch? No. If I want to launch.
So if you in Y, is there a way to save it? So don't undo anything.
Select an app. Change symmetry. Toggle radio coordinate system. Toggle overlays.
If you hit start, okay, so hit save it first. There we go. And then now go to launch. Just hit launch, because it'll default to the launch pad.
Kerbal, whoa.
Okay, so couple controls here. So we can see our pilot there, Jebediah Kerman. He's nice and happy, and you can see there he's got 0 out of 5 stars. So he has not leveled up at all. Yep, he's a real basic bitch. So
throttle. Oh, that's a throttle.
Okay, so it looks like if you hit up on the D-pad, that'll go to max throttle. and down on the D-pad will go to minimum or 0 throttle.
Yeah.
And you should be able to.
Oh, these are custom actions. Okay.
Oh yeah. So that's for later stuff.
Yeah,
We'll worry about that later. Um,
Stage, gear, light.
so gear is like if you have certain things like landing gear or like well, pretty much landing gear. So whether that's like wheels for a plane or like landing legs for like a rocket or something, you can extend those or retract those.
Nice.
Lights is just turn the lights on and off. So that's your SAS. So when you have SAS on, it's telling the computer, okay, hold my orientation. I want you to keep us pointed in the same way.
Okay, so I want SAS on.
Yeah. Probably.
Ah!
Oh, okay. You just
I didn't mean
launched.
to launch.
Oh, that's fine. So,
Whoops.
so you can see, even though your throttle's at 0, your rocket's still firing. That's because this is a solid rocket booster.
That's so it's just gonna go.
Yeah.
Right, 'cause
So
it's
that's
not
not.
throttle
You
based,
can't
it's all
throttle
just
it. It's just
solid
on or
fuel.
off.
Yeah. How do I?
Hey, achievement open for business.
Is there any way to make sure I launch my parachute?
Yes. So, you want to be careful about launching your. Awesome! We completed our first launchpad mission. So you want to be careful about deploying your parachute. When the symbol for the parachute is red, that means it's not safe to deploy. So you can actually like tear up your parachute if you deploy it the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not red right now, so you can deploy it, but it
Ow.
might turn red
Oh, I can yaw.
later.
Ah!
Yeah. So you can reorient yourself, and play around with that a little
I'm
bit.
going down. I'm going down. I'm going down.
Yep. That's fine. Oh, by the way, you can see your altitude up top.
Yeah,
I don't know if you. Okay.
You
You can also see your velocity up top, so you can see.
Oh, okay, that was the stage.
Yep.
Never mind.
Yeah. So you activate the parachute just by activating the stage that it's in.
Gotcha. Why is it not opening?
So it will open once it gets to a certain
I got you.
height.
Oh, height, really?
Yeah. And you can actually adjust that. You might be able to adjust that on the fly if you bring out your cursor and like highlight the you click in left stick, move your cursor to the parachute, highlight the part where it's attached to, yeah, right there, hit A, there you go. So if you adjust the altitude, then it'll open up earlier or later depending on what you want it to do.
Oh, it's kind of too late at this point.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm about to hit 1,000 anyway. I feel like 1,000 is a little too close to the planet. All right, well, here we go.
You can see your G-forces on the right, by the way.
Yeah.
So I think red is typically the danger zone. So if you're getting into the red, you're on the highway to the danger zone.
Service.
I don't want to get copy striked. So there you go. You flew.
Woo, we flew.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Now what? We're back again.
Oh, you can also change the deploy mode between, when safe to just when risky, immediate, whatever you want it to be.
Oh, interesting.
So, you need to collect some science from Kerbin,
Okay.
because you didn't do that yet. So,
I thought I had science though.
nope, you didn't collect any science yet.
Alright.
So
I don't like that I can't adjust the exact number. Oh.
there might be a way to.
Close enough. Spread angle. We'll put that
I
down
don't
a little
know.
bit.
It's pretty.
Oh no, this is like it too.
Yep.
Oh no, I don't like that at all.
Just close the thing. Just click anywhere else, and it might hit B maybe. How about just click on the your science module there, and that should down a little bit more.
I know.
Okay, there you go. So let's observe the Mystery Goo. So that's how you conduct a science experiment. So you observe the goo. So hold on, take a look at this. Yeah, it's real.
I observed the goo.
Yep.
Cool.
That's what you get.
Transmit
So
1.3
if you
science.
recover it, you'll get 3 science. If you were to transmit it, you'd get 1.3. So transmitting will always give you less than if you physically recover it yourself.
Might as well recover it ourselves though, because we're on the
Right.
planet.
But sometimes it won't be possible to recover. So, like, if you've got a vessel that's not designed to ever come back.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just in this stage we can do that because we're
right.
landing back on our own planet, or we can re-land
So,
a vehicle.
but you'll notice there that the like bright green bar doesn't quite go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you're not getting the full amount of science that you possibly could.
Okay.
So if you just hit A to keep experiment, maybe if you just hit A, there you go, okay. And then spin the camera around, click on the other one.
What? Come on.
No, you just got it. It's
Come on.
going to be
Come on.
real. You might want to zoom in if you can. I don't know how to do that on Xbox, but there should be a way to zoom in.
Oh.
Yeah, you can change your camera view.
Okay.
You probably just want to stick with auto for now.
How do I zoom in though?
Right trigger maybe?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
How did you do that?
This is not focused enough.
However you did that. So the same way that you're
There we go.
zooming.
Okay.
Okay, so try right stick maybe? No, not clicking it. Moving it up and down. Nope. Okay. So that's what. Try
Oh.
the. So this is you looking inside the cockpit.
I am Jebediah now.
Yeah, and you're. Um, try hitting right trigger, and left trigger maybe.
That's what got me this.
Ah, interesting. And the bumpers won't zoom you in and out, will they?
No.
What about left
Oh,
and
there we
right
go.
on the? Oh, okay, so that's how you do it. Oh, you just turned on your RCS. Yeah. So that's not really going to mean anything right now, but your RCS are the thrusters that I was talking about that reorient you. So you can see this is telling you the exact same things it was before. So between the two of them,
I get 6
you'll
cents.
you'll collect. You won't get 6. You'll probably get like 4.5 or 5 or something, because that's like the maximum amount that can be
Oh,
gotten
it's the max you can get. I got you.
from that experiment in this area.
Gotcha.
So there are different biomes on the planet. So if you were to go to like the North Pole, for example,
Mm-hmm.
you would get different science from there.
Gotcha.
And so if you click on the command pod,
There we go.
okay, click on the command pod. You might have to find the door to the command pod. Oh, the crew report. That's what you want. So you can also get some science that way. So the science that you can get is dependent on what experiments you're conducting,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not you've conducted that experiment before, and also where you're conducting the experiment. So you can also see that's your electric charge. So as you're trying to rotate um, the rocket around, that's using up electric charge.
I wasn't trying to rotate it around though.
Well, you're inputting the controls that will
Yeah.
make it rotate
How
around.
do I?
So what are you trying to do here?
No. There we go.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
It's the wrong thing. That's all.
so your reaction wheel
Transfer
is
first?
still active. So if you
Transfer.
so you can you can have him go EVA if you want. So that gets him outside the. So careful, if you let go, he probably won't be able to climb back in. So just be aware of that. Now,
Okay.
if you want, you can. So there's a couple things I'm going to talk about here. So you can have him do an EVA report,
Mm-hmm.
except you might need to unlock that. And so the way that you would do that is you would click on Jeb himself. No. You just clicked on take data.
No, I didn't. I was trying to do a free. Oh.
Yeah, you already had your cursor free. If you click on Jeb. Oh, no, it's fine. Hit.
I'm clicking on Jeb. Nothing's happening.
Can I see?
I'm supposed to hit A, right?
Oh, I thought left trigger and I thought that was supposed to zoom in. Okay. I guess I want to chase. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Well, there's a way to have him do an EVA report, basically.
Interesting.
And so that's just another way for you to get science. Now, you might want to get back into the pod. And so there's a weird thing,
Whoopsies.
and they might have patched this, actually, but there's a weird thing where if you take a crew report and then say you go to a different biome, and then you try to take another crew report, it will be like, hey, you already have a crew report. If you want another one, you're going to have to overwrite the one that you have.
Gotcha.
But if you have a Kerbal, like, climb outside, you can have him grab the data from the pod, so the crew report from the pod, but you can also store other experiments in there, and then put it back in when he climbs in. He'll automatically, so if a Kerbal has some data on them and they climb into a pod, they'll automatically store the data in the pod.
Gotcha.
So if you have him take the data out of the pod and then put it back in the pod, then you can have another crew report. So you just want to keep that data for right now, and so that will be like cached in when you recover the pod. So if you scroll your cursor up to the top,
Stop.
recover vessel, or as I like to say, recover vessel. I don't know why. It's just fun. So you were in
Data,
10
data.
science. That's actually more than I thought you would. So nice, good job. I
Sciencey.
think you got some of that science from your contract. So sometimes contracts will give you funds, sometimes they'll give you science.
Okay.
So,
Ready for next assignment.
Yep, he sure is.
1 XP.
He got a whole 1 XP. So yeah, once you're done looking at that, you can just hit A. Okay, and you can see you got some funds back for recovering parts too. So the more parts that you recover, it's just
up top. No, what is that? What is that up top?
Yeah, that's your funds. You got your funds, reputation, and science in order from left to right.
So I have 132,000.
You can also see up at the top left there, you've got year 1, day 1, 13 minutes. So you've got, yeah, it looks like 132,000 funds. So nice. Good job.
All right.
So, you just got some science, so let's go. Okay, you can take a look at your contracts here.
So we want to theoretically do escape the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. So that's probably a good goal to set for yourself now.
Should I do that now?
Yeah, we can take a look at that. But if you want, you can pick another one of these contracts.
Oh, and then I have to fly the flag when I do these contracts, I'm assuming, right?
You have to what?
I'm assuming I have to fly their particular flag when I do this.
Right, right. So this is saying take a crew report in flight below 17,300 meters near Zone 3 GLN. So that will give you like a waypoint. And so Zone 3 GLN, so it's going to be somewhere on Kerbin, because you can see a focused observational survey of Kerbin.
Right.
So that's going to be somewhere on the surface of Kerbin. It could be on the other side of the planet. It could be right next to KSP. You don't know. Or KSC, sorry.
I'm assuming it'll highlight it to an extent.
Yeah, so every time as long as you have that mission active, then it will highlight that area. It'll be like, hey, you have to go over here to do this survey. Typically, I've found that the focused observational surveys are very difficult to do in rockets.
Okay.
So that's something like when we get to planes, that'll be worth exploring a little bit more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But you just for right now, I think maybe
I'd rather do
maybe
test.
better to stick to. So tests can be really easy to do, but they can also be kind of a pain. So you have to test the RT5 Flea solid fuel booster.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's something you already have, then it'll highlight that piece, I think, in the VAB. If it's something you don't already have, it will let you use it for the test,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yep. So, hold on. So look at before you accept anything, you need to look at the requirements. So if you go back to the test, so for that one, you have to be going between 90 and 270 meters per second.
Right? So it's not very
And you
fast.
have to be between 31,000 and 37,000 meters.
Gotcha.
That's kind of tough to
Yeah,
balance
nail
both
down,
of those.
especially when we're only control.
Right, exactly. So I wouldn't recommend that one. So this one might be a little bit easier to do, but you have to be on an escape trajectory, and that's going to be
During an orbit.
yeah.
Right?
So you before you can get
would probably be the best one to do then.
suborbital.
Yeah. I think so.
So there's no specific speed requirements. You just have to be between 220 and 230,000 meters. So that's not so bad, but that's not necessarily going to be the easiest thing to do either.
Okay.
I would recommend you pick the Orbit Kerbin one. So these are the Kerbin World First Record Keeping Society. Those are typically pretty good contracts to pick, in my opinion. It might take you a couple flights to actually get to that point.
Okay.
But we can see about if you pick it. By the way, I guess you did. So you can see, by the way, it'll give you an advance. So sometimes it is good, but you typically, so not with you can see these don't ever expire. But some of these will
expire.
They'll give you deadlines.
Like 3 days, 2 days. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the offer will expire in 1 day, 5 hours.
The duration of
but
the
you have
actual night.
1 year to figure out how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's one game year, not one actual year.
Yeah. So there's.
So it's 5 years.
So I think this is set to Kerbal time. So what that means is a Kerbal day, I think, is like 6 hours long or something.
I think that's what it was set to, yeah.
And a year is like 400 or 500 days long. I don't remember what the exact figures are, but one Kerbal year is a little bit different from one actual year. So hold on. Before you go to the VAB, so let's go back to KSC. Return to Space Center.
Right.
So you just got some science. So you might want to go to the R&D lab and unlock some stuff. So we got basic rocketry and we got engineering 101.
Ooh.
Now if you want, we can have another house rule here. Totally up to you. So we can have a house rule of you have to unlock everything
In a path before we go to the
no. So like before you're allowed to unlock any
so,
of
like,
these
for example,
three
I have to do these
here.
two before I do
Yes,
these three.
exactly. Yeah,
I got
that's
you,
exactly what I'm
I
talking
like
about.
that house rule as well.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you can research both of those, and you've got enough for both of those. So by our house rule, I think you would have to unlock the parachute one at the bottom first because it's slightly to the left.
I got you.
But you don't have enough for that. I don't think you have enough for the other two either anyway.
No,
Yeah.
this is the cheapest anyway.
Okay, so let's take a look. So let's go back to the two you just unlocked. So that gives you access to liquid fuel. Stop. Go back up.
Sorry.
Be a little patient. So that gives you access to. Okay, you just bought those.
Whoops.
No, it's what you wanted to do.
Okay.
But it's fine. You're just getting a little bit ahead of me here.
I don't mean to. I keep trying to like look at it and it just
Right.
it.
Click the left stick. You might be able to hover over it. Maybe not. Right.
Okay.
Hold on. Try.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So you can see. So you just got some fuel tanks. So you got a liquid fuel rocket engine.
Mhm.
So that's going to be a rocket engine that has to be attached to
A liquid
a
fuel
liquid
canister.
fuel tank in order to have fuel.
Gotcha.
And you got a
Solid
a
fuel.
larger SRB, and you also got a liquid fuel tank.
Which I'm assuming just couples with that. Makes sense. And I'm
Right.
assuming I
So
can just
the
stack them together.
right. So the liquid fuel tanks you can stack like one on top of another,
Mhm.
and they'll kind of turn into a bigger tank.
Mhm.
They'll still be regarded by the game as separate parts that are like welded together, though, and so that actually does
It
become
does
a
affect
fact
things, yeah.
because this is a very physics-based game. Um,
Maybe
that
there's gonna
will
be
that will
internal
add to the
stresses on them.
instability
Yeah.
and yeah, exactly. Um, and if you look here, so you can see here we've got a decoupler, so that's going to be a way for us to attach certain parts together that we can then detach. So that's a science experiment, a thermometer.
Mhm.
Um, and we've got an antenna to the right.
Warranty void if an engineer admits it's actually a store-bought model with some wire stuck to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of comedy you can find in the
Yeah, it's
descriptions
funny.
here. Um, so there's your first antenna. So that's going to be useful for establishing a signal with satellites and drones and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And it's also going to be useful for transmitting data.
Okay. That's another one of those.
And that's just another antenna. Um, so yeah, you can.
What is
Uh,
G's? The G's. G's. What an
yeah,
idiot.
okay, there you go. No, that's fine.
G's. Ah,
Yeah.
G's.
So you've researched those parts, but now you have to buy them. So you can buy each one individually. So like say you only want the thermometer, and the antenna. You could actually buy each one of those
And not have to buy
individually,
everything. Nice.
or maybe you only have the funds for one of those or
Mhm.
two of those, um, or you could just buy them all with the purchase 5 parts button there. Um,
What do you think is smart right now?
well, so you've got plenty of funds. You've got 153,000. It's only going to cost 6,000 to buy them. I would just buy them all. So there you go. So, let's see about getting you into space. And so let's go to the VAB.
Alrighty.
So this is so if you want, you could uh, start a new rocket. No, so that resets the staging.
Oh.
Yeah. So now your staging is screwed up, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
So if you want, you can start a new rocket, or you can modify this one for escaping the atmosphere. Um, possibly even getting to. Yeah. So your like core. So the way the this builder works is that you've got your like core piece. That's going to be your pod.
How do I delete this? Oh,
Drag it over to the left, and yep. So what I'm going to recommend you do, since you're going to be modifying this, let's change the name and just make it like Mark II. So hit right bumper,
whoops.
right bumper, and then hit Y. And then let's do capital M, lowercase k, dot. And then space II. Or, no.
Oh, I thought you want me to type in space.
I thought you were being a smartass. So yeah, you can do like II or 2 if you want. You're gonna make them lowercase? You animal.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god. I like to use Roman numerals because
So do I.
it's, it's nice. Um,
Save the
so what
stars.
that does basically is when you go to save this, it'll preserve your original one in
Right.
case you want to use that design later or anything like that. So okay, so hold on. So let's look at what you're doing here. So you just put on a liquid fuel tank to your pod.
Right.
And that's fine. You can do that. But something you might want to consider is that so you've got a bunch of new parts now. So you've got new solid rocket boosters. You've got okay. So
Actually, hold on. I don't
one of the key differences between solid rocket boosters and liquid fuel engines. So solid rocket boosters, yeah, just hit A. There you go.
There we go.
So solid rocket boosters are going to have a lot more thrust, but they're not going to have as high delta V. They can't be controlled. They typically can't be angled. The throttle can't be angled at all. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. Okay, so now you have a way to disconnect your solid rocket booster from whatever's gonna come before it. So what you're doing here is you're putting on looks like a liquid stage before your
Perfect. Before the solid.
Yeah. It's okay. So hold on, I'm gonna show you a quick trick here. So let me see.
Oh, right, the whole
The
drag
cloning,
thing.
yeah. So if you hold X and hit A, that clones it.
Nice.
So like, say you wanted 8 here, you
I can
hold
just
X, hit A, bam.
That's a little obscene.
Yeah.
It's very large.
So I don't know.
I went 3. So.
Okay.
Well, you had it. You're right.
Nope, that's 3.
That's 3. Yeah, right.
So there you go.
Cool.
Just wanted to show you that cool little
Yes,
trick.
nice. So X and then.
Yeah, hold X and then hit A. So.
Bam. Okay.
So now, look at your staging
Yeah, I
there,
gotta
because
see my
you
staging.
do have a little bit of an issue here. Yeah, your solid rocket booster is firing at the same time as your parachute. Beautiful. There you go. Now,
I want this in the same stage, don't I? Oh, that's a decoupler.
yeah, that is a
I got you,
decoupler.
I got you.
Yeah,
So,
so you don't want the decoupler in the same stage
That's the
as the
engine.
liquid rocket. It can be in the same stage as the solid rocket, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
It's probably better to keep them in separate stages, just in case. But yeah, so that's how you've got that organized. Now, one thing that I will tell you is that you have this a little bit backwards from conventionality.
Okay.
So, conventionally speaking, most people,
They want their solid one first.
yeah, you'd have your solid rocket booster as your lift stage.
Okay.
So hold on. So also just be aware of what you've clicked. So yeah, you can't attach that to the liquid stage. You have to attach it to the pod, and then you can attach the liquid stage to the decoupler. No, hold on. Your decoupler.
I want that underneath though, right?
So you might want. Okay, so
Like that, and then.
your final stage is going to be your pod plus your empty tanks and the rocket engine. And if that's what you want, that's fine.
So what is you suggest? Well, you want me to use solid fuel first, and then the liquid fuel, right?
Right. I'm not saying I want you to do that. You do it however you want to do it. I'm saying
I can do another decoupler.
you might want to have a decoupler between your pod and your liquid rocket.
Yeah, that's what I.
Now again, you don't have to. So there is a trade-off here. So if you go down a little bit,
Come on.
there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a little bit finicky, I know. So, so hold on. If you highlight, so hover your cursor over that decoupler. No. In the staging, I meant. Sorry.
This one.
Yeah, right there. So you can see how the green one up there is highlighted.
Yeah.
So that's showing you which decoupler that's referring to.
Yeah.
So,
So
so your liquid fuel is firing before your solid rocket. So you want to switch your 2 and your 4. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, right.
Sorry. Just,
Come on, we can do it.
like, there is a steep learning curve to
There we
this
go.
game, so it's... Okay,
You're saying I don't want this to fire before I decouple?
probably, yeah. Okay, so now you've got your solid rocket booster firing, and then it decouples to your liquid rocket, and then your liquid rocket fires for a while.
Communication.
So yeah, you can put...
Do I actually want communication? I mean, I guess for
you
science.
can if you want, but you're not going to lose control at any point because you're going to have a pilot on board, so you don't need a
Communication.
link,
Yeah,
a communication link
we're not doing a probe.
Right, exactly. So yeah, you probably want to put some science experiments on, or maybe
I don't want this right here though.
Okay, you're gonna have to
Come on.
just... There you go.
There we go. Okay.
It's at this point that I will take a moment to have a word from our sponsor, Water.
H2O.
It's water, kids. It's it's good for you.
It is good.
It's fun fact. Water is very common byproduct of rocket fuel because a lot of rocket fuel is hydrogen based.
Indeed. I want to.
So when you burn rocket fuel, one of the things that it makes is water. I think hydrazine is a pretty common rocket fuel these days, so it's not just water. If you had like a pure hydrogen rocket, then it would be just water. But okay, so what are you aiming? What are you trying to do right now?
I want to put science.
Okay, so go to your science tab first of all.
Yeah, hold on. I want to change my symmetry.
Okay.
I had mirroring on. I want mirroring.
So, oh no, hold on. So there's a difference between mirror and like
radial.
The two-way symmetry.
Yeah.
So what mirror does is
It just puts it directly opposite the other one.
Nope, that's not what mirror
I'm sorry.
does.
No, you're right. It doesn't.
The other one.
I did it on the last one.
Did you?
Yeah. It just mirrors it from how far it is from where you placed it, right?
So mirror is like, so if this is like the rocket is in the center.
Yeah.
So mirror, if you have it like right here, then it will place one on the opposite end. But if you move this here, it'll move it this way.
I got you.
So you can, yeah.
So
that mirror is typically for space planes. You can use it for a rocket, absolutely, but just be aware of how it works.
Yeah.
You know.
I got you. Science. I want to do science.
So that's basically going to be like the tagline of this game is you can do whatever you want, but you might want to be aware of what you're doing. Now, one thing that I will let you know about right now, if you put a part on top of the door, it will block the Kerbal from getting out.
That's the door right there, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So you might want to be careful of that. And so you might not realize it, like, if you've got double symmetry or triple symmetry on or something.
It'll be on the door.
Yeah, the other one might end up being on the door.
Is that close enough? Are we alright?
So you're fine there. Okay.
How we look, Chief?
Looks good. Is there anything else you want to do? So you can set up multiple liquid stages. You could set up multiple solid stages. You could, if you wanted, you could put like 2 extra solid rocket boosters on the bottom there. That might be worthwhile. Let's take a look at your engineering report. No, to the left. Yeah, right there. So, you're well within your limitations. Okay, so you do have a problem with electricity. So your thermometers are going to take up some electricity.
Yeah.
You don't have a way, it looks like, to generate any electricity. So I think if you hover over the description for your liquid rocket engine, which is going to be in your rockets tab, engines tab. So that does have an alternator.
Mm.
So when that rocket is firing, that will generate some electricity for you.
Okay.
So that might not be a huge issue.
Okay.
But not all rockets are going to have that alternator, so be
Not
aware of
necessarily
that.
always going to have energy generated.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're going to want solar panels or like a nuclear reactor or something on your rocket. Just be aware of that. Okay. So what else? Do we have any control modules? Up, just below engines. Command and control. Okay, nope. What about structural robotics? Let's just go through each tab one by one. So we got coupling, nothing in robotics, nothing in. We do have a girder in structural. Do you want to use that for anything?
Other than maybe putting more rockets on the bottom, but I don't have.
So you don't
codes,
strictly need to put a girder on. So you would put a girder on if you wanted to space out extra rockets. You could actually just take a solid rocket and slap it on the side, and it'll stick there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So I could do this theoretically.
Yeah, you can do that. The game will let you do that. And they will fire
In the same stage.
in the appropriate stage, whatever stage they wind up being in. So now if you look there, so you've got 3 rockets there. So let's look at your Delta V tab on the bottom right. A little to your left.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that. So, actually, it's good that you clicked where you did before. So you've got a 4.03 thrust to weight ratio in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you take away the 2 extra solid rocket boosters? What does that become? So that becomes 2.56. So you probably don't need the extra 2 solid rockets.
Okay.
You can have them if you want.
It's not really gonna do anything though.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
So, and your liquid rocket has a 4.0 thrust to weight ratio. Let's click on vacuum for the Delta V tools. No, up to the right there.
Oh, I got you.
So in vacuum, you have about 1,355 meters per second Delta V. So you should be able to get to space no problem. I don't think you have even close to the amount of Delta V that you're going to need to orbit Kerbin.
I got you, but I can get to space.
Right, you can get to space real easy. If your goal is only to get to space, though, here's what I'm thinking. I think your liquid rocket probably isn't going to help you a lot.
In space?
Yeah, so if you
If
you want to do this, if you want to just like dick around with this, if you want me to shut up, by the way, I can absolutely. Well, hold on. Yeah, so you've just selected everything there. So if you get rid of all of that,
I'm not going to get rid of all of
okay.
that. I was just thinking of putting another stage in to then try and orbit.
Okay, so you could do that. You could also put some more liquid fuel tanks on your liquid stage. More stages might be helpful, though. Totally up to you. However you want to play around with this.
How about this? Let's do...
yeah, so what I would do,
at
least to start off with, is... No, you got to attach it to the pod. Yeah.
Shit, that's not what I want to do yet. Alright, because I want to do...
What are you thinking? Are you thinking another stage?
Another stage so that I can actually orbit.
Yeah, so
if I get high enough, then I can just thrust to the side so that I actually have enough that the Earth is spawning.
So put the tank attached to the pod.
You think this is better than doing a solid fuel once I'm in space?
Oh, you want to do a solid stage?
I'm just trying to think of thrust-wise.
So thrust is not typically the name of the game when it comes to so thrust is for a lift stage. Is how this typically works.
Yeah.
So when you're going straight up, you're fighting against gravity directly, and you bear in mind also that engines have a fair amount of weight associated to them. Thrust. So if you want high thrust for when you're fighting against gravity and atmosphere. You want a lot of efficiency once you get into vacuum. Now, you do want a fair amount of thrust. Okay, so
We'll do that.
let's see what you've just done here. So,
Run up by 600 meters a second.
yeah,
roughly.
so you've got 1,950 meters per second. Let's take a look at your solid rocket stage, if you can bring out the information for that. Do you remember how you did that? Was it...
Nope.
Well, you just reordered. Okay. So, try clicking, like, to the right of it? No, to the right.
Interesting.
Oh, okay, click that button again. The...
There you
Bingo,
go.
right there. So that's how you do that. Okay, so you've still got a good thrust-to-weight ratio. And again, so remember that's going to be at the very beginning of your burn.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be right when you're at the surface.
Yep.
So where gravity is the strongest and where you're at your heaviest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that thrust-to-weight ratio will go down over time.
Makes sense.
Or I'm sorry, it'll go up. Excuse me, it'll go up.
Because your thrust is going down.
No, your thrust stays constant, but your weight is going to decrease because you're crapping out a lot of fuel.
So the thrust-to-weight ratio will go down because I'm technically...
No, it'll go up.
Is that a good
It's
thing?
thrust divided by weight.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Thrust
I
to
thought
weight.
it was weight divided by thrust. That's why I was confused.
Gotcha. No, that's fine. Yeah, so if you're greater than 1, you're going to accelerate upwards.
Upwards, which makes
Yep.
sense. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so you still have plenty
so
of
this will
thrust.
go up. I'm assuming this will then go up towards this 4.06.
Not... The limit isn't going to be 4. So 4.06 is for your liquid stage.
Yeah, I realize that. But that 2.57 is going to go up to that 4.06 when that 4.06, when the liquid stage initially starts firing, and then it'll keep going from there. Right?
Not quite. So
Okay.
it'll... It's fine. It's fine. So, oh, sorry, hold on. Click on sea level, by the way, when we're looking at the... We're going to have to go back and forth between those a lot. Okay, so your thrust-to-weight ratio is a little bit lower than we thought. So in atmosphere, you're not going to have quite as much thrust.
Okay.
Because, so the way that it works is that the pressure of the atmosphere is going to be fighting your thrust.
Yes, of course.
So when you're looking at thrust-to-weight ratio for your solid stage, for your lift stage, you want to look at sea level.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we're talking about your delta V for your liquid stage, you probably want to be looking at either like
Vacuum or
upper
altitude.
atmosphere or vacuum. Yeah. So, yeah, you can type in a number there. So like 5,000 or 50,000 or whatever. So 50,000 is going to be pretty close to vacuum. So I think space starts at 70,000.
That's what it says right there. So,
Okay, right. Yep. Okay.
So, like, let's say it's probably going to fire halfway through.
Yeah,
No, it's
so
probably around here.
let's see. So your burn time is going to be about 24 seconds.
24 seconds. I'm looking at 714 meters a second.
But you're not going to be traveling that, so you're going to
No,
be...
it's going to accelerate.
So, let's see here. 715, so let's whip out a calculator. So 715 over 2, you're going to be traveling an average of 357.5 meters per second by 24 seconds. So that'll get you about 8,000 meters high. So way down, right about there. So that might be something to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe... so you're still going to be fairly deep in the atmosphere at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, it's quarter atmosphere at that point, so the pressure is a lot lower.
it's still going to be fairly high though.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah. So there'll be. So you can actually see. It'll tell you how the difference in pressure. So by the time the solid rocket booster finishes firing, that your pressure is going to be about 25 kPa.
Which is,
if you set it to sea level.
Which is 101.135.
Okay, you just know that off the top of your head because you're an engineer.
Yeah, 325, my bad.
So there you go. So it'll be a quarter of the pressure.
Quarter of the pressure, so we're looking.
But you're still going to have a lot of drag.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
You think I should do some more fuel?
so yeah, you might want to. So you're gonna want your liquid fuel engine to fire as close to space or in space as you possibly can.
All right, so maybe I should just do another stage.
Yeah, so maybe another stage or.
Wait,
Well, hold
I
on.
don't need to do it like that. I can just leave that on there.
Yeah, you can leave that on. And
No.
if you highlight the decoupler, and then hold X and hit. No, that's the engine. The decoupler is up a little bit, just a tiny bit, down a little bit. No, that's the engine.
I know that. I'm trying to highlight
There you go. There you go. You're on it. You're on it. Hold X, hit A. There you go. So you just copied it, and then you can just pop it right down below. So
Cool.
now you've got a second stage, but you're gonna have to fix your staging now. And you're gonna want to make a new stage. No, make a new stage. And then move, yep, that one down. Okay, and then you're gonna just toggle that so that comes right back up. Okay, so let's see. So your first stage, your first solid stage.
Should I? Hold on. Should I make another?
You can if you want. It's
this
not
is
gonna.
in the wrong spot.
No, it's not.
It
Well,
I have
okay, you
can two couplers.
So that's saying that the decoupler for your first solid rocket is going to fire at the same time as your second solid rocket.
Right.
So you can do that if you want. If no, hold on, that's gonna So you can put your decoupler right there.
There we go.
Okay, so that's fine.
Okay, so I want this to fire, then a decouple, then this to fire, that decouples, then I have this to fire.
Yep.
And then,
Okay, so let's see here. So your first.
My first one will get me.
So you're gonna have some diminishing returns here.
Of course.
So your first stage is going to be one solid rocket booster, and that's going to has about 421 meters per second delta V. Okay, yeah. So 421
like
over
5K,
2 by
meters.
24. Yep, about 5,000 meters. Next, your
this one, 676.
676 over 2 by 24. I could just multiply by 12, but whatever. So that'll get you up to about 13,000 kilometers. Or 13,000 meters. Not 13,000 kilometers. Okay.
Come on. Aha. Close enough.
Okay, so at which point
the pressure. This will kick in.
Yeah, so then you're going to have very good thrust to weight ratio, and you'll have 1900 meters per second. So, 1900 by, what's your burn time? 36.
Yep.
So 18.
Give me like 48.
So yeah, that will get you.
Of course, that's just burning. So acceleration-wise, I'm still going to be accelerating. I'll be pretty close to space. At that point.
You should have. So that's your engines
48
will
right there.
So your engines will cut out at 48,000. So you're definitely going to get to space.
But I'm not going to be able to orbit because I'm just going straight up and then back down. Which is why I kind of wanted to add another thing over here.
Right. So you can have another liquid stage if you want, or you can have another solid stage, or.
I kind of want another liquid stage, but I want to see.
Just so you know, the decoupler is connected to the pod still, not the.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so. So do you want to have another liquid stage then? You can do that.
Yeah, let me put this here.
Well, don't you want that connected to the pod anyway?
No, now I'm thinking I'll just leave the
So you want to leave the liquid stage connected to the pod at the very end?
Should we or no?
You can do that. So there's a risk that so that's going to make you heavier, which is going to make you faster re-entering, which is going to make you more likely to burn up
in atmosphere.
Yeah.
What if I just
it's also going to make it harder for your parachute to slow you down, so there's a greater risk that you impact too fast into the ground and die.
We don't want that. Let's put a fuel tank. I think one. What do you think?
Just one? Okay. Well, let's. I mean, we can. If you want just one, you can have just one.
Nah.
Okay. Two then.
We'll do an engine. Okay.
And then you need a decoupler. So you might be approaching your part limit.
Probably am. Hold on. I wanna. There we
Ooh,
go.
yep.
Perfect.
That's exactly what you want. Okay, so down a little. There you go, right there.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not seeing a red gear symbol, so I think you're okay for your part limit so far. Yeah, so you're fine. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So we've got not quite as much delta V for your. You see how how difficult this gets really quickly.
So let's see, we're at 389, so it's getting us to roughly 4,000 feet.
Okay, so 389 by 12, 4,600 meters. Not feet, meters. If this were feet, oh god, that would suck. Plus, let's see, 527 by 12.
Looking at 10K.
Okay, so 10,000.
11,000 roughly, and then we got this one.
So,
the burn's so much slower. What? Oh, because I haven't moved the stages around. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. You gotta fix your staging a little bit.
Okay.
So that's your top engine. That's your lower engine. So you want your top engine. So create a stage between 1 and 2. No, between 1 and 2. Okay. Well, it's the same. Just move.
Delete this.
Okay.
There.
And move move that one up there. It's toggle. It's not hold.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, and you need you need that one between 2 and 3, or on 2 if you want. You don't want it. No, you don't want it there. You want it either on 2 or between 2 and 3.
Oh. Right here.
Yeah, that'll work.
I guess.
That's fine. Okay, so.
And then this one I need.
So let's also consider here.
Actually, can I? Okay.
527 plus 389. Let's assume that aerodynamics takes away 40% of your velocity.
Yeah.
549. You should be going 549 meters per second, straight up. Yeah, don't launch yet.
Oh, not yet.
Let's do a little bit of math
okay,
here.
A
first.
little math for rocket science. Come on.
Yeah, I know, right?
Into there. What are you talking about?
So 549 meters per second straight up by the time your second solid rocket booster cuts out.
Yeah.
And that's from what was it, 389 by 12 11, plus it wasn't 11,000.
Yeah, it was 11,000.
It was 11,000. Okay, you're right. I think I was thinking of the one before.
Yeah.
So 549 meters per second. Divided by 9.81. Is that how that works?
Depends. What are you trying to do?
Trying to see what our peak. So if we stop firing our engines and just let momentum carry us upwards, what our apoapsis is going to be.
I got you.
So 549.
But at that point, it's not going to be 9.81 either.
Well,
that's but frustration with
it's better to
average that part. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better to assume higher gravity than you're going to actually have.
Isn't it like 4.6 or something at 70 kilometers?
I don't know. It's probably like 9.6 or something. It's probably not that much lower. Because I mean, so you have to understand like the distance from the surface to the edge of the atmosphere for Earth is like such a tiny fraction.
Tiny.
It's actually like if you're in low Earth orbit, it's not like Earth takes up like all of your view. It's not like
you can't see from
right. You'll see like
the curvature of the Earth.
here. Yeah, you can definitely see the curvature, but it's not like you're not looking at Earth like, oh, look at this tiny little ball, like the moon. It's like no. Imagine like if Saturn were in the sky.
Yeah.
Well, because Saturn is in the sky, but you know what I mean. If Saturn were as far away as the moon is,
Right.
like,
That's
yeah.
what it would look like.
Okay. This is not 540. Oh, okay, no. This is the right 549 over 9.8 divided by 2 times 549. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So 549 over 9.8 gives us the time, multiplied by the velocity, divided by 2 to average it out, gives us 15 kilometers. So we should be able to get up to about 26 kilometers. So, what if we add 2 more solid rocket boosters to our very initial stage?
Okay.
So not another stage, but more thrust. No. So, yeah, you can zoom out. There should be a way to like pan the camera down, but I don't know how to do that.
X.
There you go. And just be careful how you position those, because that can make a difference for just like initial balance on the launch pad.
There we go.
Okay, so now we've got a red gear. So I think we're either over our weight limit or over our part limit. So you click on the red gear. Let's see here. Just scroll up. Inside the So we're over our weight limit.
All right.
So we can't have those. We can't have nice things. So
let's do it. Let's just fire.
Okay, so if you want to fly this, we can go. Okay.
Let's give it a shot.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna get to orbit.
All right, we'll try.
We could have added some fins, by the way, to make us a little bit more stable.
True.
If you want, we can still do that real quick.
Yeah, I kind of do want.
Okay, so let's go to revert flight to VAB. Or to vehicle assembly. Okay, so let's go down to aerodynamics, basic fin, and you scroll. You want to put them. Well, where do you think you want to put them?
Ideally down here.
Why do you say that?
Because that will generate the. Well. No, technically you would want it at the top. Because that's where your initial impact of resistance and air is. But you also kind of need it at the end to actually slice through. I would say the end.
Okay, so you're correct. You want them all the way at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so the reason for that is you have to think of them as generating lift.
Yeah.
So you don't want to generate lift at the top because that'll cause the top to become unstable and want to flip over.
Yeah, I'm thinking of supersonic.
So if you you put them all the way at the back in the bottom, turn on some symmetry. So you can have like 3, 4. 4 is probably the most you'll need. 3 would be the minimum.
Okay, I guess I selected it, so cool.
Yeah, so you're on 4. So yeah, you're gonna want to
get rid of that one.
Yeah.
Come on. on. Oh,
The
no. No.
just
Oh my gosh.
there you go. So just get it.
No?
What do you?
Where's my controller? There it
Okay.
is.
No, not yet. That one. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Woo.
So yeah, just basically fins at the back are just gonna help keep it
helps.
more stable.
Yeah, it generates the
Okay, so let's launch. Now before you launch, let's take uh let's take a thermometer reading.
How do I do that? I don't have any buttons.
So you need to hover your cursor over the thermometer. That tiny, tiny little thermometer, you're gonna have to try to.
Oh.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be where control. This is to make you appreciate control groups much
What
more.
do I do?
Hit A.
Another time.
Maybe click right stick. Hit X. There you go. Log temperature. And you can try the same thing with the Mystery Goo. I don't know if Launchpad is considered a different biome than at KSC. I think it is. So no. Let's save that one for when you're higher up.
Okay. So only do one
Yeah.
here.
So let's observe the Mystery Goo.
Okay.
So let's see. Okay, so you can get some good science from that. So let's keep that.
Okay.
Okay, and you can take a crew report now, or you can try to take a crew report in flight.
I'll take that now. Let's
Okay.
X.
So let's no. So click on, just hit A on the command pod, maybe.
A.
Yeah. So there's also going to be a difference between clicking on the hatch and on the pod. So maybe try X on the pod. So scroll down, crew report.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Keep.
And yep. And let's have Jeb climb out. Let's have him do EVA. Okay. So you want the parachute to deploy higher?
A little higher, yeah.
Okay.
Just to slow him down. What am I doing?
Let's have Jeb climb out, grab the data from the EVA. Yep, EVA. And let's have him grab the data from the pod there. So click A on the pod. No, that's on the science experiment.
Oh, little pod. Okay.
Maybe X on the pod. Take data.
Gotcha.
And just have him board it. And so again, that's just so that you can take another crew report later.
Gotcha.
It's kind of a janky workaround. Okay, so let's turn on your SAS, because you're definitely going to want that on. So you can, yep.
What's RCS again?
RCS is for when you have little thrusters, there'll be like blocks of like 4 thrusters.
Reactions.
Yeah. So it's reaction control systems. Gotcha. SAS stands for, I think, stability assist systems.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Now, let's launch. I think so you might want to, let's set your throttle all the way up. It's not going to matter right now, but you're going to want it up so that when you get to your liquid fuel engines, they fire at full thrust immediately.
Gotcha.
Or if you want them to fire at like 3/4 thrust or something, then you can play around with that a little bit.
Oh, you can actually adjust. Oh shit, it's wobbling.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
Okay, if you don't want to do that, it's fine.
I don't want it to wobble. Do I?
Oh no, you don't want it to wobble. No. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about adjusting the thrust.
How do I adjust the thrust again?
I'm not sure. It might be the triggers. It might be the D-pad. I know up and down on the D-pad. will...
There it is. Okay, I've been on the D-pad.
Yeah, so that'll take you from 0 to 100, but you can actually go to each, like, level in between.
Not when the SAS is on, apparently.
No, you can. I just don't know how.
I had it earlier.
So, yes, the SAS is
Ah!
separate from... Well, you launched. Turn your SAS on, yeah.
Not bad.
You just try not to wiggle the rocket around or anything. You
I
kind of
won't,
just
yeah.
want to stay, like... So,
Stable.
well, typically speaking, in an actual launch, you would lean ever so slightly east. By the way, the 90-degree mark on your little gimbal, your nav ball there, that's going to be east.
Okay.
You can see north is the orange line down.
Okay.
Stage. Stage. Okay. Yeah.
Whoopsies.
You're fine. You're fine.
Hey, we made it a lot less than I thought we would. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never quite as much as you want it to be.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's
And so once you get to your liquid engines, you'll be able to have a lot more control. Okay. And fire, and you're going to lean a little bit to the right. So look at the nav ball. So that's going to be how you like control the rocket. Not that much. Not that
I'm
much.
not doing anything.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
Well.
No.
So our house rule is that you get 2 reverts per flight.
What happened? I don't understand what happened. I had
So
SAS on, right?
yeah. So you.
Okay.
SAS is not infallible.
Okay.
So you're aiming a little bit west right now.
I don't want to touch it again.
Well, you just need to make very slight adjustments. So, yeah, you can see how your rockets don't ever really get you quite as far. Throttle down a little bit. Throttle down. Throttle. No, you staged. Let's revert the flight. Let's revert the flight.
Thank you.
Revert to launch.
Whoopsies.
So we can expect a lot more of that in the future. Okay.
Okay.
So, turn your SAS on and throttle up. Figure out how to control the throttle. Like,
Yeah,
let's look at.
no controls.
Okay, general. Go down. Is there flight controls? Fly a vessel. Here we go. General transit. Stop. Scroll
Throttle
up.
controls right there.
No, that's
Throttle down,
rover
huh?
controls.
Oh, my bad.
Fly a vessel. Mm-mm. Okay, I don't see any throttle.
Great. So it's either all
So
or nothing.
maybe go. No, there's definitely a way. You can definitely control it with the cursor. Oh, wait. No, it was right there. Control. Nope, you're on settings.
All right.
Controls. Throttle up and down. Left bumper plus up and down on the D-pad. So hold left bumper.
Okay.
And then move up and down on the D-pad, and that will throttle you up and down.
Oh, that's nice.
There you
Okay,
go.
there you go.
And then if you let go of left bumper, then you can just switch on and off real quick.
Okay, so I want to throttle all the way up right now. For now.
Actually,
It doesn't
so
matter. Technically,
it's not going to matter for the solid rocket boosters. Once you get to the liquid boosters, let's try like 70%.
Okay.
So let's go.
So I'll do it like that.
Yeah, right about there. That should be fine. Nope, you just turned it all the way off.
Oh, I can just leave it on. That's true.
Yeah, leaving the throttle on does not actually.
It doesn't do anything for the solid.
It's not going to hurt you. It's
yeah.
not going to drain your electricity or anything. You're going to be totally fine. So let's go. Fire away. Oh, hold on. I'm going to give you an extra revert because
I forget something.
yeah, we didn't do science this time.
Oh.
So yeah, revert to launch. That mulligan. We're not going to count that as
that, yeah.
you still have one reserve revert left.
Okay. Now I got to remember how to do all that.
Yep. So yeah, you're gonna have to zoom in a little. There you go. And then you're going to click on the thermometer. Yeah, you're right on it, but it's not quite giving it to you for some reason. You gotta.
Why not?
There you go.
Oh,
there you go. X.
Oh, right.
Log temp. Keep. And same with the Mystery Goo. Mystery Goo.
Okay.
Okay, and get yourself a crew report. Okay. And now climb out, take the crew report out, put it back in. Click on the hatch.
Oh, right.
Yeah. EVA. I kind of want to apologize because this would be much easier for you, I think, if we were playing on PC.
That's fine.
But for a few reasons, I kind of wanted to do. So hold on, turn your SAS. Okay, how did you do that?
It's a B.
B. Okay, that's good to know. All right, you ready to launch?
Did I move anything?
Did you move anything?
I don't know. I have 1 degree on the thing. It's fine.
You're fine.
And we're off.
Yep.
Here we go.
All right, and we're away. We're going to space today, boys.
We're only 600 meters.
Where are we
up.
launching, boys? Hey, you're a kilometer up.
There we go. Man, they're really struggling with that meters per second there.
Yeah.
Why is it going down?
It's not. It's going up.
The rocket itself?
Your solid fuel is going down.
Yeah.
Because you're using up fuel.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I see what you're looking at
Okay.
there. That's how much meters per second you have left
Gotcha.
to get from the rocket.
Okay.
Um,
Man, Jebediah is having the time of his life right now.
Yeah, he is. So you can see you're not quite accelerating as much as you were before. And I think that's a good thing because the faster you're moving through the atmosphere, the more drag you're going to get. The more drag you get, the less efficient you are, but you don't want to accelerate too slowly either because then you're wasting a lot of fuel fighting gravity.
Yeah.
So I think 70, maybe tone it down a little bit. In fact, maybe let's drop down to about half. Because you're still accelerating a good amount. But we do want to save some more fuel. Let's lean over just a little bit. Just a little bit. You can see we've switched our velocity into orbit mode now. So that's pretty cool.
Is that good? Lean over a little bit.
So let's stage. And let's lean over a little bit more, and let's turn down the throttle a little bit more. Let's go down to like a little bit more.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah. Let's lean over more. In fact, let's get pretty aggressive with our leaning over because you're almost out of the atmosphere right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go like pretty close to the horizon. So more. So you're almost at 45. And you're looking at the gimbal, right? You want to look at the gimbal for,
Like this?
Yep. That's good. Let's go all the way over. So you're in space right now.
Okay, so I can go like this.
So let's do a little bit more science while you're in space. So let's take another crew report.
Okay.
So, okay, you just ran out of fuel. So, yep. So let's do a crew report.
Ah!
So don't EVA.
That was a hatch, my bad.
In fact, I don't think you can EVA. Because you haven't upgraded that yet. So let's do a crew report. So that's 5 science. Nice. Let's save that. Let's take a look at your Mystery Goo. Let's observe that. So you're 140,000 meters up right now.
And climbing.
Yep. Climbing fast. So let's keep that. And let's take your
Second.
thermometer, yeah.
Log temperature. How do we look?
I prefer branch temperature, but so that's another 8 science. So cool. So you just got like 20 to 30 science, I think, from this trip. So nice.
Awesome.
It's pretty good. So let's take a look at the map. So let's.
How do I do that?
It's one of the triggers, I think.
No.
Triggers, not bumpers. Click in one of the sticks or something, or okay. Take your cursor over to the bottom left. We'll do it the dumb way. Toggle map. There you go. So you can see your apoapsis there. So you got a really sharp.
Okay.
So when you're trying to go for orbit,
It's
you
gotta be
really
outside of
you
that,
want to
obviously.
spread it out a lot
Yeah.
more. So you don't want to. You want to flatten the curve, really.
Right. That makes sense.
So you can take it. You can hover your um, cursor over the AP. Do you see that there?
Yeah.
If you zoom in a little, so you got an apoapsis. That's your highest point
Okay.
of 224,000 meters. So that's actually a lot higher than you need it to be.
Mhm.
You're out of fuel, by the way,
I
so
know
you
that.
can't.
I wasn't trying to actually activate the fuel.
Oh yeah, I got you. So
I was trying to zoom in.
when you're trying to go for orbit, you probably don't need a lot more than what you have right now, in terms of building a rocket. What you are going to want is to adjust how you're flying. So you want to,
I'm gonna want to cut that. I'm gonna not want to go so much straight up anymore. I'm gonna want
yeah,
to
you want to
Yeah.
start leaning over just a little bit in the very early stage if you can. I mean, if it starts to just like go way out of control, then obviously don't do it.
Right.
But if you're able to,
Oh, I don't want to do.
um,
Ah.
no, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry too much about which way you're pointing. Um, you can ditch the liquid stage if you want, or you can kind of keep it as a heat shield. You might want to keep it as a heat shield.
Okay.
So by the time you get up to like the upper 30,000s in altitude, you're gonna want to be not quite at a 45-degree angle, but you want to be leaning over pretty heavily.
Okay.
And then by the time you get up to like the upper 50s to the 60 to 70,000s, you want to be pretty close to the horizon. So you're just going to count on your kind of momentum to carry you up out of the atmosphere. You're not worrying so much about thrusting straight up.
Gotcha.
So let's talk a little bit about the nav ball. So you see that mark there, the yellow mark with the 3 lines coming out of it? So that's your prograde vector. So that's the direction you're going. So let's spin yourself up a little bit.
Up.
Just roll, like, sorry. Well, so we can see here, that's one of your normal vectors. I'm sorry, not normal vector. That's the anti-radial vector. So that's 90 degrees from your prograde vector.
Okay.
And so that's going to be, so if you're in an orbit, that's going to be the vector pointing directly in towards the planet.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then go 90 degrees from there again. That's going to be your retrograde vector.
So where I just was, basically.
Yeah, so that's pointing away from the direction that you're moving in.
Gotcha.
So you may want to, so not strictly where you just were, because you're not moving in a straight line. That's always going to be pointing. So what I would do is I would point myself away from, I'd point myself retrograde. Because, careful, easy. So you're about to hit the atmosphere, and you're coming in really fast at a pretty steep angle. So you could actually find yourself in some trouble here. And so this is why you still have that revert flight in your back pocket.
Gotcha.
But so yeah, you're going to become a fireball in the upper atmosphere for a little bit, and if you survive, you'll decouple your engine and activate your parachute and hopefully come back a big hero.
We'll see.
First man in space.
Got 100,000 feet.
So you're a little bit off with your retrograde vector there. Now, one thing that you can also do is you can angle yourself to skip a little bit more gently off the atmosphere. And if you do that, you'll spread out your heating over a longer period, and you'll be a little bit more likely to survive. Yeah, so if you angle yourself a little bit like that, probably about that far, you'll increase your chances of surviving a little bit. So that's just a life pro tip there.
269 degrees.
Yeah, so you've got about 50,000 meters to go before you hit atmosphere.
Woo!
And you're going 1,200 meters a second.
Yeah, no, we're going pretty quick.
So
It's fine. It's fine. Hey, can I turn the lights on? Turn the lights on here.
So there are lights inside the cabin, I think. And so if you hit that, yeah,
Woo!
there you go. So yeah, Jeb's got a little light on now. If you want, you can watch from inside the pod as you go down. That has some advantages and disadvantages.
No, that's not what I
So
wanted.
yeah, docking, that's for later. We'll worry about that a little bit
the
later.
atmosphere.
Yep.
Right there.
So here we go. And oh, you're in the atmosphere. Yeah, keep yourself angled that way so you fall like as gently as you can. You're about to become a fireball in like 3, 2. There it is. Okay, go retrograde. Point retrograde. Not. Yeah, angle just ever so slightly off. Yeah, just like that. So your engine's about to blow up. I think you're gonna be fine. There goes your engine. Uh-oh. You're pointing. No. Flip around.
I was trying.
Okay. You might have just lost your science. Stage. Oh, you're gonna die.
Okay. Well.
Do you want to try that again? Let's revert that flight so we can save Jeb's life at least.
Yeah. For sure.
Let's revert to launch. So let's try to keep our apoapsis a little lower and try to spread out our curve a lot more. So take your science. We have been going for about 2 hours. I know you said you had about 2 hours to go.
Yeah,
after 2 hours to stream. So
after this, I will have to go.
Okay.
It's a fun game though.
Yeah, you can learn a lot through this game. You really can.
There we go. Jeb, get out here.
Did you take your crew report?
No, but I'll do that.
You can't take it from outside.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna do it from inside.
Right,
After
but you
I
have
did
to
do I have to actually take it? Oh, I got you.
take it while you're inside the pod, and then. So let's take a crew report. There you go. So I will say, by the way, these fins that you did put on they're not useless. They're of limited value though, because you can't angle them at all.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the fins that you'll get later in the game, you'll be able to like change how they're angled, and
nice.
they'll be really useful for maneuvering.
All right, cool.
Okay, so you took your goo, your temperature, and you took your. If you go on EVA? No, we tried that. Never mind. Just go. Just fly. Fly, boy. Let's take your throttle down a little bit too, by the way. A little bit more. That's good. And try to lean yourself just a tiny bit to the 90.
Which way? Left or right?
To your right.
Oh, to the 90.
Yeah.
Like that?
A little bit more? A little bit? That's good. Stage.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. Yeah, like keep it gradual. So as you lean, your prograde vector will align more with you, both because of the atmosphere and because you're thrusting in your new direction. Yeah.
Woo! A little bit more.
Yeah, keep leaning, keep leaning. A little bit more. Keep going. A little bit more. A little more. Do you know why I'm telling you to lean towards the 90, by the way?
I mean, is there any reason
I should
doing
have
that?
I should have let you kind of figure out
It's
which
because
way
it's
to
towards
lean.
C. I mean,
Yes, so that's partly true. The other part of why it's true is that the planet rotates in that direction.
that's
right?
why it's set up in that.
So you want to use the planet's starting rotation to your advantage.
Gotcha.
So instead of flying north, for example, would put you in a highly polar orbit. So lean more, lean way more. Let's get you more. Not that much, and try to get closer to the 90. Down, right, a little bit more. Down a little bit more. Okay. Go a little bit more to the right. A little bit more. More. Okay, you're out of fuel. Let's take a look at the map.
Nope, that's not the map. There we go.
Yeah, so you want your... So let's take a look at your apoapsis.
It's a little better.
Yeah, let's hover over it, see what it says. So you're gonna die again. Tell you what, let's revert this again.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to be...
I just need to angle hard. I got you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
So let's turn your throttle down a little bit more. Let's go even a little bit under half. That's good. And then when we get like halfway through your first liquid stage, we'll turn your throttle down even more than that.
Okay.
Because we really want to spread that out as much as we can.
Getting real good at logging this temperature.
Yeah. This is half the game here, man. So the reason, by the way, that I'm having you have Jeb get out now and put the crew report back in is that you have not upgraded the astronaut complex, I think, to... yeah, you clicked on the hatch. To have Jeb, or any... No. You want... Actually, it might not be a bad idea to collect the data from the goo canister, too, just in case that blows up on re-entry.
Okay.
So... let's collect the data. It's going to tell you that it's going to be inoperable after you do that. That's fine, because you're not going to be able to use it again anyway.
Okay.
See if you can take the data from the thermometer, too. It might be too far away. Take data. Nice. Nice. Okay. And that one you can actually reuse.
Sweet.
Okay. SAS on. Let's go. Okay. Let's angle a little bit. Start leaning. A little bit more. A little bit more. Keep going. Keep going. That's good. So yeah, if you were to fly like towards the north, then you'd put yourself in a polar orbit, which is fine. You know, it's not going to hurt you or anything, but it'll cost the least amount of fuel to put yourself in a perfectly equatorial orbit,
right?
Going from west to east, because you're just using the planet's. It's a fairly significant advantage too. Okay, and let's lean more. Lean a little bit more. So once you get to like 20,000, let's get you. So just constantly keep moving a little bit more and a little bit more. So by like, let's say like 25,000 meters, let's get you at about the 50-degree mark.
Okay.
So keep going, keep going. That's also the 60 that you're coming up on.
Yeah,
So you're.
I'm at like 40 right now.
No. That's 60. You're going down to 50.
Oh, down
then 40.
to 50.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
I got you.
45 is where that circle is.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
I see.
There you go.
That good? Like that? Keep going?
Yep. Keep a little bit. So let's hold that for a little bit. Let's turn your throttle down. A little bit more. There you go. Maybe a little bit more. Let's. A little bit more. You want it pretty much like not much above 0. And keep leaning. Keep leaning. Lean. Get yourself like all the way over, pretty much. All the way over. Right at the horizon mark. Right about there. Okay, let's take a look at the map. You can leave the engine running. So you're in space now. So beautiful. All right, let's take a look at your apoapsis.
124.
Yeah, so you're right. So it's still going to push your apoapsis up, even though you're only thrusting like sideways.
That's all we get.
Yeah. So let's say, if you were to try to get to orbit now, and like let's say you had another stage, the best way for you to do that would probably be, so you want to be still more aggressive in how you're leaning over. Because I mean you're doing pretty well though. For your first time playing, I do want to say like you are doing really well.
Okay.
So be more aggressive. So you want to have like an for your suborbital. Oh, here's what he's saying. Maybe stop the engine if you have greater than 75 apoapsis.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry about that, Muckrater. Listen, it's I'm trying to, guide him through. I don't want to be like super, this is how you do everything. Because I do kind of want to let you have your own experience, but I want to give you some like hard nudges in the right direction, if that makes sense.
Yeah, might as well take some science
so
while we're
let's
here.
take some science. So get a temperature. It's
Tiny
8
bits.
science. So Mystery Goo.
10
Nice.
science. I can't get out, obviously, right?
No, you can't get out, but you can take a crew report.
Science.
Nice. Okay. So the way that you would try to get to orbit is you would want to have, and so actually, what I typically will do is like once I get to about 40,000 meters or so, I'll go into the map view and I'll start controlling from there. Because you can still like throttle up and down, and you can look at the nav ball to see how you're pointed.
Right.
And you can monitor your apoapsis, and you can see how like spread out your suborbital path is.
Gotcha.
And so once you ideally want to have it so like by the time you get into the upper atmosphere, you've got a suborbital path that goes like most of the way around the planet, and you've got an apoapsis of no more than like 85,000 meters. And it's going to take some practice to get to that point. But
Right.
then what you do from there is you cut your engines,
Mhm.
you wait until you get to your apoapsis, and so that's going to be the highest point in your orbit,
Mhm.
right? And you point yourself with the prograde vector,
Mhm.
okay? And so then your prograde vector is going to be right on the horizon.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So you fire in that direction, and if you're like perfectly aligned with your prograde vector, that's going to only move your periapsis.
Mhm.
So your periapsis is the lowest point of your orbit.
Right.
Apoapsis is the highest point.
Gotcha.
So once you've got a suborbital path, your periapsis is like inside the crust of the planet, and so you at apoapsis you fire directly prograde aligned, and that will raise up your periapsis, and you want to just raise up your periapsis until it's at about the same height as your apoapsis.
Gotcha.
And so, what you'll actually see if you look at it in the map is like your periapsis will come up like this,
Mhm.
and then suddenly the numbers will freak out and they'll switch sides, and
That makes
right.
sense. Yeah.
And if you keep thrusting, then the other side will no longer be your periapsis; it'll be your apoapsis, and it'll become more and more oblong.
Mhm.
But for your first orbit, that's not really what we just want a nice circular orbit.
Do I want to be right here?
No, you don't. You want to be
Oh, 'cause I wanted.
pointed. Yeah, you want to align yourself mostly retrograde, so you're going down right now. So point yourself retrograde, and there is a way, by the way, that you can speed up time in this game because
I figured.
obviously, orbits take a long time to go around.
Right.
So you want to be on the other side of the retrograde vector.
Like this?
Yeah, you want to angle yourself. So you basically want to angle yourself so you're kind of skipping like a stone
Okay.
across the atmosphere. You don't want to be too aggressive with it. That's probably about fine. Um, and so just the idea is that you're using the aerodynamic forces to have yourself land, well, come down through the atmosphere, and bleed off velocity more gently. So you'll experience lower g forces. And if you're interested in, would you like to know more? Do you know what that's from?
Uh, I don't recall exactly. Where is it from?
It's from Starship Troopers.
That's right.
Yeah. So, if you would like to know more, then what you can do is I highly recommend watching Scott Manley's rocket science videos.
Am I gonna slow down? Am I gonna slow down?
You're probably gonna be fine. Turn yourself around if you can. Maybe wiggle yourself back and forth.
We're trying.
You're gonna be okay. So let's stage your rocket tanks. Oh jeez.
Jesus.
You're gonna be okay, but you're not gonna have a good time. Oh, you're not okay. Well, okay. Look, you came very close.
Alright, fair enough.
You did pretty well though.
Yeah.
So let's.
Oh
So
no.
I'm gonna give you one more revert on this. We're not going to. We're gonna leave it paused because I think you gotta go.
Yeah. So we'll try again.
So
Then.
we will pick up from here next time. Overall, you know what? I'm gonna give you a B.
I'll take a
I'll
B.
give you B plus
I'll take a B plus.
because I think you've done pretty well when it comes to.
It's the learning curve of understanding what's what.
Yeah, no, I think you've done fairly well. And
thank
we'll try this again next time. We'll pick up from here. Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say is, so what we're gonna try differently is we're going to have you make your orbit more gentle, It always falls back on the teacher, I would say. Well, hey, listen, Mock Raider. Hey now, look, I'm trying my best here.
Can only do so much for the
um,
student. He's got to do it for himself sometimes.
no, I mean, I will happily say that I'm not the best teacher here.
That's fine.
It's
There's a lot to
it's
the
a tough
game. I
subject
literally
to
haven't
pick
played
up.
it before,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
It's
not rocket science.
also
I mean, come on, man.
it is also to be fair, this is like 100 times simpler than
Oh,
actual rocket
for sure,
science. Yeah,
for sure.
you're not dealing with any kind of fuel flow problems or like, reaction wheel dampening, anything like that. I just restarted my game after more than a year now. Oh, it can be so tough to like jump back into it, but it can also be really gratifying to like jump back into Kerbal Space Program after a long time. Um, so yeah, so we were actually supposed to be playing ODST today and
Hmm.
not Kerbal Space Program, but that didn't work out because some schedule issues didn't really work out.
Unfortunately,
Something that makes it more hard to reentry. You have the engine still attached. Yeah, I was gonna say we were kind of trying to use that as like
a heat
a
shield.
proto heat shield. I don't think that was really working out for
I think
us.
it was causing us to have too much mass.
Yeah, so, well, I think it was um, having gravity fight us a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Engine's heavy and pulls you through the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Look, I will freely admit that I'm not a pro at Kerbal Space Program. I try my best. I think the furthest I ever gotten it, though, despite the like thousands of hours that I played, because I played it so much on and off,
Uh,
was I think I landed on Eve, but I couldn't take off because it's too heavy.
no, no.
So Eve actually has a higher. So Eve is like Venus,
Right.
except in reality, Venus has a lower gravitational pull than Earth.
Hmm.
In KSP, Eve has a higher gravitational pull than Kerbin
Oh,
does,
interesting.
and so it's got a thicker atmosphere too, and so it's much harder to take off from there. Um, but yeah, so I think what we're gonna try next time is we're gonna have you be a little bit more aggressive in your gravity turn.
Yeah.
Your gravity turn is as you're going up,
Right. Right. Right.
how you're turning the rocket over. So we're gonna have you be a little bit more aggressive in your gravity turn to give you a lower apoapsis, and so that's also going to mean that you have a lower um, z velocity,
Hmm.
z up and z down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate z up targeting or z up targeting. Z up coordinate systems,
Yeah.
but since apparently everybody uses Z up coordinate systems, since apparently everybody uses Z up coordinate systems for advanced mathematics, apparently that's what we need to do. So we will have you be a little bit more aggressive in your gravity turn, and we will probably ditch the engine and the fuel tanks in space, and that'll make us lighter and make us um, accelerate or decelerate more
Hmm.
through the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Um, and then you'll probably live next time.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So so yeah, this was actually a lot of fun.
Nice.
I know we spent a lot of time kind of dicking around in the VAB and just kind of getting
A
a
feel for the
hold of
game.
like the very basics of the game.
Yeah.
Um, but there will be more to come. Next stream is going to be on Thursday the 20th. It's going to be a little bit later at night, and that's going to be us playing
ODST.
some Halo 3 ODST.
Hmm.
And then we're going to be playing ODST Sunday nights. Now, I don't know how exactly you want to. Do you still want to do Mondays and Thursdays when we're doing ODST on Sundays, or do you want to?
I'll probably
I
have to ditch one of those days
Okay, I
for school.
figured, yeah, I figured that's like the most reasonable thing to do. So, we'll probably ditch Mondays because Thursdays I think are going to be our um, potential secondary ODST days.
Hmm.
Probably most weeks we're not going to be able to play ODST um, twice a week, but when and if we can, we're going to be doing that. And then I think probably for the days, so our second day during the week where we can't play ODST, on those weeks, we'll probably be playing either this or Subnautica.
Yeah.
And then once we finish Subnautica, I think this will become our only secondary game. And then once we finish ODST, we'll be back with Assassin's Creed 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be the plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks so much everybody for watching. Currently my first orbit now, I'm at 930 meters a second at a height of 262 kilometers. But without an engine, I hope I'll be fine. Well, look, Mock Raider, you just got to use the tried and true method at that point. Just get out and push.
Exactly.
And we will.
Exactly.
I'll be teaching you how to do that too. That's an actual thing.
Is it actually?
Oh yeah, no, it's a real thing. You can get out and push. And
Okay.
then you just got to litho brake. You just drop your periapsis down to 69,999, and then you litho brake 500 times, and you come down as gently as you can. And even if you're saying that you don't have a parachute uh, on your pod or anything, there's always the tried and true method of just oh, my science exploded.
Oh
Well, all
dear.
right, I can't help you there. Look, I'm gonna chalk that up to user error. Sorry, bud. Um, but there's always the tried and true method of, oh crap, I don't have a parachute in this pod. I'm just going to jump out and hope I bounce off the ground. Sometimes that works.
Really?
Sometimes, oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
No, I've had it. I I was playing. God, this was like. Oh God, a depressingly long time. It was 7 years ago. Um, when I was a senior in high school, I was playing Kerbal Space Program, and I was like, well, I screwed this up, and these guys are coming down. The parachute's not strong enough to like save them, so I'm a little bit too heavy here. This isn't gonna work quite how I wanted it
Wanted
to.
to, yeah.
So I got Jeb and I had him do an EVA like mid re-entry,
Oh.
and I waited until I wasn't on fire anymore. But I was like, all right, get out, grab all the science, jump. And this was before they had personal parachutes for Kerbals in the game too. And I was like, dude, just
Don't splat.
bounce, just bounce, bounce, man, bounce. And I came down, and he hit the ground, and he went spaghetti for a second, but then he came back together, and he lived.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so there's gonna be some real cinematic moments from these games. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks everybody so much for watching. Make sure to
Playing
plink
drunk.
Jenny,
Yep, yep.
plink Jenny
You sure you
water.
got water in that water bottle over there?
I uh oh, that's why it smells like vodka. Um, so yeah, make sure you drink plink Jenny water.
Yep.
You can do something nice for somebody. Always pay it forward. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can feel free to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you're you can find the link to my Twitch channel in the YouTube description. If you're watching this on Twitch, you can find the link to my YouTube channel in the description of this video, or like below the video or whatever, below the live stream, whatever. And yeah, feel free to follow on Twitch. Chat us up. We are always here and ready to talk. Anybody wants to say anything in the chat, we try to read it all the time. Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, thanks so much for watching. Take it easy. Have a nice day, and yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah.
So goodbye.